But remember too, we were getting beaten and whipped in slavery too. So that our femininity was beaten
You were getting
out of.
what?
We were getting beaten and raped.
When did you get beat?
I'm just talking about
Who
culturally.
beat you?
Our slave masters. You were born on a plantation. I'm sure they got you.
No.
I'm sure they.
Blacks
Sure they
were better
tapped up on
when
you a
it
little
comes
bit.
to when it comes to morality, when it comes to marriage, lack of abortions, treating people the way that they would like to be treated, owning property, getting educations, getting a good education in black universities and black schools. Blacks were better off then than they are today. So what happened to the homes that, you have 73, 72% of black children, black babies born out of wedlock, because they're the ones who are setting up the children to fail in life. If you notice, most of the kids are angry today, and the fathers are not around, so it's the mothers and grandmothers who are making them angry. She's passing their anger down to the children. What happened to the parents that they decided not to do it right?
I don't think that they didn't decide to do it right. I think it's just a reflection of institutionalized racism. To the extent that our heads of households are being incarcerated, there aren't men in the homes to be able to balance the strength of black women. So we get branded with being angry, but we have to be able to fill two roles. And I think that black men are targeted, and I think that they have not been able to be embraced, but that's been since slavery. And we all know that the heads of households are our men. So to the extent that there's not a man in the household and they're being raised by music or television.
So you're saying that institutionalized racism is causing black people to have babies out of wedlock?
I don't think it's causing black people to have babies out of wedlock. I think it's impacted the stability of the black family and taking the black men out of the household, and in the media and just what people are portraying and in the music and what these kids are seeing. They're not seeing a two-parent. I mean, I grew up, grandfather and grandmother had 16 kids. They stayed married until death do they part. So I'm from Los Angeles, so we don't see often in my adult life, I have yet to date a man that comes from a two-parent household, but
That's
I grew
amazing.
up. Isn't it? It's sad, actually.
I grew up under the Jim Crow laws down in Alabama on a plantation, and during those days, less than 10% of black babies were born out of wedlock because black people were getting married, they had families, and things were rougher then for them than they are today. So if it has anything to do with slavery or racism, why do we see it more back then than we do today?
I think it's just an intergenerational curse, an intergenerational effect. So it's more than just slavery, it's just Jim Crow. And again, the media has a very, very strong impact. Kids are sponges, so they see reality TV shows and they have some of these rappers having 5, 6, 7 different moms and different kids, and it's being glamorized. And it starts in the home. Family starts in the home. So if the conversations aren't happening in the home, then we're doing our kids a disservice.
If black people were a moral people, would they be affected by prisons and jails and so-called racism?
What do you mean by, I think we are moral people? What do you mean? I just think the church hasn't done its job.
But you don't need the church to be a moral person. You're like already moral because you have good parents who are moral parents and they're setting that example for you. And so it demonstrates that the parents are no good. The fathers and mothers are immoral people, and they're setting by example, setting that up for their children. And so when you go off to church, it's the responsibility of the preacher to correct that by telling the people you need to turn back to God.
I don't think that the parents are immoral. Yes, and I do believe that it starts in the home.
Yeah.
Just as wealth, the lessons of wealth and money are taught in the home. What I think is that my generation have strayed away from the church because of what we've seen.
But if they were moral people, they would not be having children out of wedlock.
That's not necessarily true.
No, moral people don't have out of wedlock children. And so,
I disagree.
And the mothers would not be passing their anger down to their children.
I don't think mothers are passing down their
anger. No, they are.
The
kids, the anger that you see.
I'm not saying that there aren't isolated instances.
No, majority of them are doing that.
But generalizing black women, I don't think they pass down their anger to their children.
The fathers are not there, you agree, right?
I do agree that some fathers are not in the home.
The anger has to be coming from the mothers if the fathers are not there.
Not necessarily. It could be coming from school. It could be coming from...
Well, that's an add on to, because their mothers and grandmothers have set them up. Black mothers and grandmothers, not all, are mean people. They have no patience, they have no love, they're imposing, and they traumatize their children.
So what are you defining as anger? How do you know that they're angry? What are they doing to display their anger?
They're acting just like their parents. They lack patience. They are joining gangs and doing drugs, and they don't respect the elderly anymore. They are ending up in jails and prisons around the country. They are attacking white Americans. They have no patience, and
not all black children
they're
are doing
attacking
that.
other blacks, and that's coming from the home, from the
But
mother.
that's coming from their socioeconomics.
No.
That's not necessarily coming from the home. I'm sure there are some good mothers at home.
There are some.
There's a lot of good black mothers at home.
Where are they?
What are you talking about?
Is someone dated? Have you ever dated?
Don't I look like I've dated? Yes, I'm not a nun.
I'm sorry?
I'm not a nun. Of course I've dated.
And so are you a difficult person
No,
to
I'm
date?
not a difficult person. No, I don't think I'm difficult at all.
You're not a
I
difficult.
think I bring a lot of value to the table.
With the men who have dated, you think that you're difficult?
No, I think some of the men who date independent, successful.
Oh, that word.
Wait.
There's that word.
Wait a second.
Whenever a woman says independent, that means she's difficult.
I'm not difficult. You didn't let me finish the question.
Go ahead.
And so you already have a perception of what it means to be
When a woman says I'm
independent.
independent and strong,
Trust me,
is
I
another
am
word.
looking for the Clyde to my Bonnie. I believe in the power couple. That's all I've seen my entire life. But it depends on how he sees my role as a wife. If he sees me as a domestic goddess, then yeah, we're going to have a problem, because that's not who I am. When you met me at the age that I am, I wasn't that. So if he has kids, great. I don't mind being the stepmom, but I'm not looking to, give birth now. I mean,
That's
that doesn't mean that
amazing.
I don't.
Do your father know you think this way?
Of course he knows I think that
He
way.
does know this?
Of course he knows.
And is he disappointed?
Of course. I mean, he wants to extend his legacy, but he
Yeah,
has two
so
other
does
kids.
he regret sending you to school because the school messed you up like this?
No, the school did not mess me up.
Who messed you up like this?
First of all, I don't think I messed up. First of all, but I think that I've had men who've, let me finish my question.
Oh, yeah.
So I look for my Jay-Z, and I'm just using that, figuratively.
Jay-Z.
Wait a second, whoa, slow your roll.
Not a good example.
Okay, I'm just talking about in terms of a power couple. Let me just say that.
Okay.
You want me to say Michelle and Obama? I'm looking for my Obama. Okay. What's gonna make you feel warm and fuzzy? I'm trying to just make you understand.
You're naming all the weak men.
They're not weak. Anyway, so no, I am looking for a partner.
Does white privilege exist?
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
And where's the proof of that?
All around. I tell people often now, in hindsight, one of the things that I wish I would have been more cognizant of was the white privilege at UCLA that was sitting, right next to me. For black people, I believe white privilege is something to leverage.
What is it though? I don't see it anywhere. What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
How don't you
For
not
people
see
like
white
me who
privilege?
don't see it.
How do you not see white privilege?
Because it doesn't exist. That's
Yes,
what
it does.
So what is it exactly?
I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as black people have to deal with. I mean, there's no white racial profiling. White people don't get pulled over by the cops just because they're white. They have the ability to, show emotion and love to their sons without being emasculated. There's all kind of examples
That's
of white
amazing
privilege.
that you believe that.
Absolutely. Why don't you black? How come you don't believe white privilege exists? What you see?
Well, because I am black in color, but I don't have that dark mentality that most black people have.
Clearly.
I see, she said clearly, I see that white people have the same struggles and things that we have in that
What type of
they have
struggles
to
do they
make their
have?
marriages work. They have to make their children, help their kids grow up in the right way so that they can earn a living and be independent.
But they also have the majority of
They
their
make
fathers
kids-
at home.
Right,
We don't
and the
have-
reason for that, it's starting to change somewhat now, but the reason for that is because they are taking responsibility for that, whereas black men and women are not taking responsibility for that, as they did prior to the civil rights movement. Black people are blaming it on their lack of self-control and self-containment. They're blaming it on white people, while white people are working hard to keep it going.
I do
for
believe
themselves.
that there is a need for black people to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse racism, that doesn't excuse institutionalized racism, that doesn't excuse...
But there's no
that-
such thing as that.
Yes,
It's
it
an illusion
is.
made
No,
up
it's
by
not.
black people and
No,
their
it's
leaders.
not. No, it's not. It exists.
Well,
Sorry.
where's the proof of it though?
What do you mean, where's the proof of it?
There are many kids who are getting into, black kids who are allowed to get into these universities around the country, right, based on affirmative action. And because of affirmative action based on their color. That's discrimination based on color, and that's wrong. And these kids are getting in, but they're not earning their way. So when they fail, they feel less than before they were allowed to get in based on color.
I'm a proud product of affirmative action. When I went to UCLA, it was because I was an affirmative action student.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I think I turned out fantastic. So a lot of my peers who were having challenges getting into some of these predominantly white institutions, the affirmative action was great. My father went to Harvard. You know, he was one of very few blacks.
Was he affirmative action person?
I don't know if he was. That was back in the late 60s.
Well, then he wasn't. He earned his way.
So that being said, I still believe that affirmative action helped me get into UCLA, and it gave me access.
You would
and
not
exposure.
have gotten in there on your own because you were not smart enough?
I don't know if I wasn't smart enough, but based on the curve and what I was competing with you know, other individuals who had different educational opportunities and teachers. I mean, I'm coming from, you know, the LA Unified School District. I mean, so at the time, I think LAUSD was still pretty good. But I went to all white schools from high school up
So you
through
got
college.
a good education. Why couldn't you get into the school based on your own talent?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't have some of the opportunity.
But you had the opportunity.
No, well, first of all,
you had the same opportunity
SAT,
those white kids were having.
Not necessarily. I had different teachers. I had different
So you
resources.
went to a white integrated school.
I'm talking about
mostly
going
white.
into these other into UCLA. I still had to be able to deal with some of the issues and going to predominantly white schools.
Does racism exist?
I believe racism does exist.
And where's the
absolutely.
proof of that?
You just see it all over in the country. With proof of it. In terms
What-
of just
what do
the
I see?
disproportionate in the economics with black people.
But that has nothing to do with racism.
It does. Racism is about power. It's about who is in control. And black people can't be racist because we're not in control. We're not in control of the educational system, some of the social organizations and things that run this country. We're not in control. Racism is about power.
But you would
What
be in
race is
control of your own life if you had good parents, if they taught you how to be independent, if they taught you how to build, how to take care of. I've noticed that the reason I left where I lived over there in the Crenshaw district is that once the white people left, because once I moved there, when I first moved there, it was mostly whites. But once they left, as they did in Gary, Indiana, and other places, the blacks turned it into a ghetto. A beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. But if blacks had more character and they were taking care of themselves and being responsible and buying land and teaching their children,
that has to be taught.
Then so that has nothing to do with racism.
But that has to, of course, that has to be taught.
So it's not racist. It's not white people's fault that you're not teaching your children to do that.
No, but it's not. If the
that true?
parents don't know.
They don't know.
If
But that's not white people's fault,
though. But if they go into some of these institutions, these predominantly white institutions, they are targeted. They don't have the same opportunities because of their color. It's true. I mean,
So then why go in there then? Why not go to an all-black school if you
some
feel
people
that?
do choose to do that.
I'm sorry?
Some people do choose.
Well,
That's
why you see a lot of these black kids going to these white universities, and then they force their way in by saying, I need affirmative action. Once they get in, now they crying racism. Why do you want to force your way in with the people you think are your enemies, and you're still complaining once you get there?
I don't think people are forcing their way.
Does affirmative action is forced based on color.
But does affirmative action even exist? Are people getting in based on affirmative action?
Yes.
Today,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
The way Trump has it down, he's just leveled the playing field. So it is going to have to be more about being able to be competitive.
Hallelujah. Aren't you happy about that?
I absolutely was not disappointed. As a matter of fact, I miss Obama.
You miss him?
I did. We held a fundraiser for
You
him.
miss Obama?
I did. We held a
In
fundraiser.
a good way?
I do, yes, absolutely.
Meaning that you're happy he's gone as I am?
I'm not happy that he's gone.
He was the worst president that
He was
this
not the
country has
worst
ever
president.
experienced.
No, I mean, that's your personal opinion, and I respect that. I love what he represented.
What did he represent?
I mean, just in terms of just being the first black president.
Oh,
and
Jesus. That don't mean nothing.
to me, it meant a lot. I loved the image that him and Michelle gave in terms of just the black family, them just
But
being
Michelle
from
was the ruler over him.
She was not the ruler. Do you have proof of that?
Did you ever see Michelle?
Just because she looks a
Thank
certain
you.
way. Wait a second, just
You
because
saw
she's
that. I saw that you
no,
saw
I'm saying
it.
no. That's just my reaction.
I saw that you saw what I meant.
No, I didn't know what you meant. Just because she was, what did she look like in order to rule over him? Because she was black and she had what? What made him her
She
ruler?
was hard looking, tough.
No, she was not hard looking.
I read that you host a breakfast fundraiser at your home that Obama attended back in sometime in 2012. Is that right?
Right, we did.
So are you disappointed that over the last 50 years that not one black politician, male or female, not one black preacher, not one black president has been able to go into the urban areas, clean out the gang violence and the drugs, and give normal black people a chance to breathe so they can rebuild or restart their lives? Are you disappointed that he had the power of the United States of America behind him, and he had the police departments which would have supported him, and he did not one thing to end gang violence and drugs and crimes in the inner city?
I think he could have did more for black people if black people had an agenda.
Did you have fun?
Doing what?
This.
Talking to you?
Uh-huh.
You all right.